Hey, this is Dave from Your Gift podcast. I'm with Toby.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Going well.
This is going to be exciting.
I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty
Yeah.
pumped. You know what? I know in our intro we talked a lot about how what we're planning to do here on this show and what we hope to become a platform bigger than just a show. But today we really wanted to really get more into our why. Why we decided to do this.
Yeah. Why in our heart do
Yeah.
we think this is necessary?
Yeah. For me, it's been, now I'm 40. I've had a pretty good career. My family life is extremely blessed, and I've just felt more and more of a calling to kind of give back and get involved, and I'm starting to do that. One of the ways I did that actually was, I started doing some research in the local community on what organizations are doing good, and
You don't realize how many are doing good until you started researching.
no. And, I'd heard of one called Hope Southern Indiana, who we hope to have on the show in the future. And so I was on their website and realized just how many things they do, how many awesome things they do, what the needs are. And so I reached out to them to really learn about how myself and my family could volunteer, whether time, talent, treasure, get involved, do some things. And when I reached out to Angie Greff, who's the director at Hope Southern Indiana, she invited me down for a tour and like, hey, here, talk a little bit about what they do. And I was like, this is cool.
That's
and
awesome. Yeah.
So I went down there, we met and had a really good conversation. And it kind of evolved into, they just happened to have a board seat available, asked if I would be interested. I said, sure.
They liked you that much right off the bat?
Let's go figure. And so I said, sure, I'd love to learn more. So I met with a couple board members, went to a board meeting. It was just floored with the need of the New Albany, Southern Indiana community, and the opportunity to participate on the board and get even more involved was just something that I was thrilled and honored to even be asked. So now that I'm on that board and participating in some of their board meetings and really learning, the families, the numbers of just here of
Heartbreaking.
Homelessness and food insecurity and all the ways and all the needs, it was amazing. And so what that's really done is it's fired it up in me to say, how can we tell these organizations' stories? How can we get their stuff out there so that more people that found themselves in shoes like mine that were like, I want to help. I'd like to give back and look at the amazing stuff that Hope and many other organizations are doing and learn how you can get involved. And so this was all about, for me, it was about how can we tell these organizations and individuals, there's a lot of people out there doing amazing stuff on their own. How can we bring them on the show and highlight what they're doing so we're not singing praises, we're actually calling attention to, and we're bringing more people, we're connecting. We're connecting people with needs to people that can help serve those needs. And that's the whole purpose of what I wanted to get together and do this with. And so knowing that you're eager to participate and love the thought and idea, I was excited.
Yeah, and I enjoy the technical piece of all this. I enjoy setting all this stuff up and having this done, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference if you have everything set up in the beautiful camera and we have all the setup. But if you don't have a passion for what you're talking about, and there's people that I've met over the last few years, a gentleman named Jacob Boger. I don't think you ever got to meet him before he passed away a couple of years ago. He started a little Generation Church downtown Louisville to help just the bottom end of the bottom end because he saw a need there. And I'm like, the heart that he have to be able to do that, and everything that he earned and everything that he brought in was put back into that. He started a food bank over there with, I think, Dare to Care. So there was people coming into church every Sunday to get clothes and to get shoes, but they were also getting food. And you're like, how does somebody have that heart that puts everything into something like that and not have everybody behind them? Why in the world in this entire city, the entire area behind someone like that? And this platform here gave me the opportunity, or is going to give me the opportunity to hopefully highlight those folks that do things like that. And I mean, there's certainly good churches around. I mean, you're a member at Northside that I'm sure that they do some wonderful things. But it's not just about the big organizations. It's about the individuals. I know people on Facebook that go out of their way to, one of our neighbors recently did a drive just to help some elderly woman who takes care of their grandkids, where they didn't have anything and they didn't have the Christmas presents. I think she raised over $1,500 in like 3 days. And I'm like, that's the kind of people and the kind of heart that we want to really highlight on this. And that's why I have more passion for this than anything that I've ever talked about on a podcast. And again, I don't expect it just to be a podcast. I expect this to be the wherever it goes to that platform to say, here, let us share your story. Let's talk to people like Christy Renfro, who is the heart of an angel that would be willing to take in all these foster children. I mean, over the last few years, there was always a foster child at her house. She's currently taking care of 2 twins that are, I think, 8 or 9 months old. She got them when they were 2 or 3 weeks or 5 or 6 weeks old. They were really, really young when she first got them, and they're almost a year old now. So folks that are willing to put that on the line and help in their own way. So even though she's not trying to change the world, but she's going to change the world for those children.
Yeah.
And that's really what I want to be brought into this about.
Well, and we don't want to tell their stories for them.
No.
And so the whole hope with this podcast and this show and this platform is to welcome you, those people, those organizations, to actually come on the show. Let's interview you. Let's get you out there so that you can share your love and your passion for what you're doing, so that others can then help find need and know that folks like you are out there. And so that was the whole purpose of this. Wasn't so for us to tell the stories of these organizations, these people, but to have them on the show. And so we're sure our listeners, our fans will have ideas and people they'd love to nominate to reach out. We have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, we have a website, YourGift.Life, and an email address. And so, multiple ways to reach out and connect with us and to share that information. And we would love to then be able to reach out and get those folks scheduled for an upcoming show.
Yeah, anybody that has the ability to do good and they want to be highlighted, and not necessarily, or do you want to come on the show and tell us a story about some other organization that you know about that maybe we don't? So that's really what it's about, is going, okay, I know this person who's done an amazing work. During this Christmas holiday, she raised this amount of money or whatever for this charity or whatever. Reach out to us. And like I said, we get our YouTube, not YouTube, but email address is YourGift.org, @gmail.com. And what's the Twitter handle?
YourGift.Life.
YourGift.Life. That's the
also the Facebook page.
Also the Facebook page. So anybody reaches out or the website is YourGift.Life. That will allow us to be able to talk to you and bring you on the show. And we can do it virtual. We can do it. Heck, we can come to your house if I don't know if that's something that you'd want to do, but I'm willing to do that just to make sure that we're available, or their organization.
Yeah, I would say we're in some crazy times. COVID has given us all an opportunity to kind of step back and see things maybe a little differently. And, I think COVID actually gave me a little bit of that free time, not free time, but more time, taking out commute and work travel to really think about some things like this. And so, but what it's also means is there's a lot of folks out there that are out of work. And so there's more need than there was even before. We also hear about concerns around the funding and the income intake into these organizations, and if their needs are truly being met to meet the needs, because maybe folks aren't able to donate as much as they were before, or they're not getting into those situations where they're even thinking about the donation. So this is really in a big way ratcheted up the need of others and the need of these organizations to meet those needs. And so
100%.
So this show in a big ways for that, but also given the COVID situation and the inability to really gather, being able to meet virtually, use technology and these platforms in a way to do that, I think is just, we want to make it easy and meet people where they're at and where they're most comfortable. So,
yeah,
I don't only want to highlight those organizations, but there are people out there that have needs. There are people out there who have had their needs met by these organizations. And maybe you want to come on and brag about somebody or brag about that organization to really put a real story of impact, of real impact in your life, that nothing helps connect dots other than, it's not numbers on a page, it's true people that are being impacted. And so, we'd love to have you on the show as well. So reach out in however way you can, and let us know your story, and we'd love to highlight it.
Yeah, I'm excited, Dave.
Yeah, me too. So, hey, this is good. Looking forward to it, and eager to hear from you all. Please let us know what you think, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Trim that last part off, huh? If it's not still
Did you
going.
stop it?